Willing England to do it, to beat the two superpowers within the space of 5 days. Australia with the centre pass to get us underway here at Earls Court.
Contact centre.
And already the Aussies have a quick score on the board.
And Cox has got the goal in the opening seconds. Let's hope we don't see a reverse of what we saw at the MEN Arena when England had that flying start against New Zealand. No need to tell you, but I will, that England are in the all-red strip, attacking left to right as you look. An early opportunity. Brownfield misses.
There's a good advantage being played by both umpires in the start of this game. It's quite phonetic, Alan. But Amanda Nottingham from New Zealand and Dalton Hines from Jamaica trying to let the game flow.
That's encouraging.
But it's also down to the discipline of the players.
Here the support for England. You'll have heard in the pre-match interviews Norma Plummer, the Australia coach, saying it's going to be a bit like Australia against Australia in the type of aggressive netball that's played.
But it's not only that, it's the fact that both teams have got rotational shooters, speedy, and can make good decisions in a very small space.
England looking to show that mobility here.
That's a penalty against Gerard. And that's a lovely feed to Brownfield on the base.
Second time lucky it is for Brownfield, who hit the rim with her earlier attempt, but equalises there at 1 goal apiece. Great take from Cox. And that's well astray.
Yes, a misunderstanding between Cox and McMahon. Gives the ball to Mentor. Yes. And it's England's chance to take this ball through the mid-court. Atkinson looking for Clark.
Jade Clark, who you made player of the match, I recall, in Manchester for her performance right at the centre for England. There's Amanda Newton feeding into Cookie, working outside the circle, bumps with an Australian. England still in play here.
That's a neat pass into the circle to Cookie, holding in front of Gerard.
Cookie takes the chance and England go into an early lead. Having fallen behind to the Cox goal, it's 2-1 England.
Yes, that was a little bit too much of a floaty pass by Cookie. Needed to be a little bit sharper.
That's Natalie Van Berto outside the circle. Feeding in, and Sherelle McMahon ominously right under the net. And she barely missed the other night. She doesn't miss now. And there we have the Australia bench. And the crusty character is Norma Plummer. That's in no way intended to be a pun relative to Pucker Pies, who are sponsoring this test series.
And that's a turnover opportunity to England, and you can see I'm not getting embroiled in this comparison of Norma Plummer. At least we say she's an exceptional coach.
Great goal from Brownfield. Yeah, mentioned in a complimentary way because she is a tough character, indeed a crusty character, and Australia play tough netball, but then so do England these days.
Yes, and that was an unfortunate pass across the D. Clark couldn't hold on to it. She's been marked quite fiercely by Selena Gilsonen.
Cox and Van Berto feeding in there for McMahon. Prefers to be known, or is known, as Shaz by all her teammates and all followers, of which there are many, of Australia netball, some of whom are here at Earls Court tonight. Good interception, Newton there getting in, but Australia back with it. Contact there, lots of contact, lots of early contact between the players.
Goalkeeper contact, penalty pass or shot. shot where you are a shooter. You're out going
Yes,
for
too
contact.
much contact really. It spoils the game when it's interrupted like this. You know, it would be actually nice to see a free-flowing goal go in without having to stop for the penalty.
Yeah, no free-flowing moves at the moment.
And that's Gilson and out of the game in the mid-court. It's a neat drive by Cookie. Good pressure by the Australians.
But England keeping possession well here and working around the circle. Cookie plays it to Clark, into Cookie. And can we go back into the lead? We can, just.
Yes, that was also good work by Amanda Nottingham, the umpire. You can hear in the background giving advantage.
And the early stat for the completions is pretty close, 80-75% to England at this stage with a 4-3 advantage.
Yes, Cookie just needs to settle on those longer shots. Just make sure she follows through with the normal action. That's immense pressure by Gerard.
Just waited nicely for the shooting opportunity, didn't take it this time. England still have it, edge of the circle with Clark. Atkinson's in there.
And again, Gerard leaning in with a hip. Gives the penalty to Brownfield. Very calm, very calm. There's that lovely flow to the action.
No pressure.
Not yet, anyway. And that's a great turnover by the England defence.
I think if you're talking pressure, Australia have more of it on them because they would ordinarily be expected to win this by some margin. England perhaps can play with more freedom. They're not expected to win, although expectations have been built up by that cracking win over the Kiwis.
That's very true, Alan. And the way that England have started would be exactly how any coach would want their team to start. But you can't write off these Aussies.
Never can. They always come back at you, but I'm a cricket fan and I'm looking for some revenge for the Ashes here. England 6, Australia 3.
That was good hands by Monia Gerard. She recognised the danger with that ball from Atkinson.
Brownfield again. And a goal again. Well, almost a repeat of the events in Manchester when we took New Zealand by surprise. There's Mark Caldo and Denise Egan on the England bench. We can hardly say we've taken Australia by surprise because they were there watching it. They were all too aware of the threat.
But it's like with any team, Alan. You put them on the back foot, you get a few goals ahead of them, they're chasing the game, and it's to your advantage. And it's great to see Australia under this pressure, but let's not fool ourselves. We're only sort of 10 minutes into an hour's game.
Well, let's enjoy it.
It's great.
Enjoy it, even if it's only enjoying it while it lasts. Here's McMahon, slightly off balance, but scores.
England.
It's a good reach by Cookie and some really quick hands.
Oh, that's well played by the Liz Ellis, the Australia goalkeeper there.
Yeah, she's a very experienced campaigner, tremendous athlete.
Obstruction, goal shooter, penalty pass, yes. Advantage obstruction.
That's neat work down that sideline. Cox a little bit isolated there, which is a 3-second hold. Good call by Dalton Hines.
And England just restricted her options there. And that is definite contact as ruled by the umpire, by Ellis on Cookie.
Yes, and it should be a 2-on-1 to our attack. England attack in the circle, that's a good advantage.
England putting Brownfield in. Not this time. Not this time for the Maverick shooter.
Yes, there was very little support around the circle for her to move it in closer. But Australia fire it down quickly with some quick hands. A little bit static there from Laura Van Berto.
But look at the England marking and covering, the tenacity of it.
Yes.
Yes, McMahon has been pinned back on that line by McCloma and Mentor. Good work.
And Norma Plummer on record with her admiration for England's back players.
That was Well kept in by Cookie. England just need to be patient,
Advantage, Conte.
keep that possession.
Conte, goalkeeper. Yes.
Another very, very calm conversion from the Mavericks goal shooter. Let's have a look at how Cookie
Contact wing
kept
defence
that ball in
penalty.
there.
Yes, centre third. Yes.
And again, I think England are much more fluent at the moment
Goalkeeper
than
contact called,
Australia.
penalty pass or shot.
Our defence is
Yep.
working really hard against Cox and McMahon.
England.
And Australia needed that. Bit of respite for them. England seeking to maintain a healthy advantage
Contact centre.
over the first quarter, which has only just over 4 minutes to elapse.
And it's really good that the England shooters are finding front spaces on the Australian defence, and they're being penalised for coming behind all the time.
And there's Cookie with another, well, what does that word say? Yes, it says goal. And they're going to lift that card up a lot of times tonight, we hope. Many a goal in the previous two games. England 50, New Zealand 45, Australia 50, New Zealand 47.
Yes.
Two absolutely superb encounters, which have helped, via Sky Sports coverage, to sell tickets. A couple of extra thousand tickets have been sold since those games were screened to make well over 8,000 at Earls Court tonight.
And we're just waiting for guidance from Dalton Hines, and it's a penalty to Australia after a really good feed by Natalie Womberto into the circle to find a very free Kath Cox.
And McMahon gets the goal back. Big game with the World Championships approaching in New Zealand in November. Good indicator for both countries.
There's Amanda Nottingham of New Zealand, I should say, dictating where the ball should be taken from.
Advantage offside.
Another advantage in England's favour.
Defending from out of court, goal defence were out of court.
And Mona Gerard deemed to be marking out of court, which is not allowed.
And that ball's not going to... It could have been up there all night. It doesn't matter because it's a goal to England, any which way.
Just needs
She's
a little
just
shake.
looking.
Just needs a little. What is it? Shaken and not stirred.
Well, I think both apply to Australia at this stage, don't they?
Oh, but that was easy in there.
Shaken
McCloma's
and
got
stirred.
to be careful that she doesn't leave a 2-in-1 in the circle that often, because Australia will just take advantage.
Goal defence settle now. You're out of play.
10-7.
Advantage obstruction, wing attack.
It's well supported by McCloma on the third line.
Newton and Clark in combination with Atkinson.
Obstruction wing.
Gilson and out of play for the obstruction. There's Ellis directing traffic, but just didn't see Brownfield sneaking behind her.
Yeah, good ball over the defenders, and Brownfield, just as you say, Kendra, just drifting into a free position. England take advantage, 11-7.
Goalkeeper contact, pass or shot.
Yes, the
Yes.
Australia attack is not as fluent as it was the other night. I think both the wing attack and centre need to work a little bit more by
Australia.
driving at the edge and pulling
Australia.
off, but it's to England's credit that they're stopping that from happening.
And when they are getting the opportunities, they're not always taking them.
There's a lot of pressure in there from the arms from Mentor and McCloma.
So a minute of the first quarter remaining. England would love to stretch their lead to 4 goals here.
It's a good chase down by Atkinson. Brownfield supporting outside the circle again. That's a neat move by Brownfield.
Here's the goal I was talking about. 12-8, they'll settle for that, Kendra.
Yes, it's a fantastic start by England. They've got to maintain the composure of their centre passes, but again, fantastic work by McMahon with quick feet and quick hands from the feed from
She's,
Laura Van Berto.
She's slippery.
In a nice way.
Yeah.
England.
And I think that is the end of the first quarter. It is indeed. Welcome back to Earl's Court as you rejoin us for the start of the second period. England 12, Australia 9. It's as you were with both sides. No changes, England or Australia, who have possession. Playing now left to right. And the deficit reduced in the opening seconds of the second period by Kath Cox.
That's good backup by McCloma, flying into the mid-court.
You're with Sky Sports, the Pucker Pies Test Series final test between England and Australia, who are ranked world number 2 behind New Zealand, who have already been vanquished by the English in Manchester. In between, Australia had success over New Zealand, so an unofficial World Championship contest here. England shading it so far.
That's good work by Cox coming out of the circle with Gerard backing up, and some neat interplay onto the edge of the circle by Australia.
We can let them get so close, but no closer, and that's only one goal now.
Yes, unfortunately we made an error off our centre pass. England made an error off their centre pass, and so Australia have capitalised. But that's a good holding work by the England defence. Good arms by Newton. It's a contact in the circle by McCloma.
And there's Cox with the leveller for Australia. 12 goals each. Now let's see how England respond to this.
Yes, through just one mistake, one error at the beginning of that quarter, Alan, Australia are now back in the game at 12 all. That's how quick this game can turn from one to the other. That was smoother.
See if England can turn it back. They can like that.
Yes, McMahon, who's having to work for every ball this evening. And that's good legs by Cox. Played the decoy position to allow McMahon to come in.
Cleverly waiting for Nkloma to commit herself before levelling again for Australia. Crowd going a bit quiet. That's a brilliant piece of vision from Brownfield. And Atkinson deserves a goal. May get one here. Oh, good challenging.
Yes, it's the long arms of Ellis. And she's apologised there, sorry, she knows. That's a great touch by Newton. A clean touch. Good footwork allowed that to happen. But it's Cox's back line.
Now, which way is this game going to tilt? The pre-match view from the experts, not least the expert sitting beside me, was that if Australia get ahead, they'll stay ahead.
Yes, Tracy was saying in the commentary earlier that if they did that, and I totally support that view, which is why it's really important for England to keep scoring off their centre pass. And that's Von Bertu out of the play for the moment. It's a penalty to England.
Atkinson and Brownfield well kept in there by Clark, but falls to Australia.
Contact shooter. Obstructing centre.
Played through by Natalie Van Berto.
Yes, Australia trying to get that ball down the sideline, but it's a free pass to England. Both teams needing to use the width a little bit more. It's good D by Australia.
Played back to Amanda Newton.
It's a good job she had a height advantage there, I believe.
Yeah, it was a problem pass, that, wasn't it, really?
I think in the trade it's called a hospital pass.
Yes, but it certainly is in football.
Penalty pass. Yes.
But this is good control by the umpires. There's lots of whistle, but there is lots of contact. There's some very feisty performances going on. Again, we can't afford those misunderstandings. England ball needs to go to England hand if they want to stay in this game.
And Cookie takes a tumble. She's okay. She's a tough cookie. I should not have said that, but anyway, she's here.
I think you're allowed to
Under
say
the-
Pamela is a tough cookie.
Australia.
That's a neat goal. Lots of barging in that circle. It's good pressure by McCloma, forcing the error from Australia.
So England with this marginal lead.
Advantage
Just a
of
goal.
Strathton centre.
And that moved down the court very swiftly for England. But Mona Gerard, what a lovely tip.
Advantage of Strathton wing.
What a lovely intercept. And there she is on the third line supporting the attack.
Good interception there by Mcloma. What was it? It was.
No, it was Newton.
Newton.
Yeah, some of these passes just need a little bit more pace on them to get there. And I guess it's easy for me to say sat here, I'm not down there having the pressure on me.
At one stage you were.
Yes, but it was never as good as this lot.
Well, it's some 25 years since England have beaten Australia. Not sure if you were playing on that occasion.
No, I wasn't. I got selected the year after.
I was close. 15 each.
Advantage contact wing and centre.
That's a neat ball by Cookie. Well weighted for Ellis to pull off.
Oh, unlucky, but I suppose that's a charitable view. The margins are so slight for error that these opportunities have to be taken. 15 each.
Yes, and Mona Gerard, I feel, is having a very strong, dominant game for Australia, causing problems in that England attack.
Yeah, Mona Gerard alongside Liz Ellis, another formidable player at the back.
That's good hands by
Formidable player up front,
McMahon.
Shaz McMahon. And Australia go ahead. And I think for the first time since they scored the opening goal of the match.
That's a neat bounce pass by the from sister to sister. And under the post scoring opportunity.
Now, the crowd have been quietened.
And that's a footwork call by Brownfield.
Advantage of Strathton wing. Advantage of Strathton wing.
And they're played into McMahon again. And Australia go into a 3-goal lead at 18-15. Timeout called by England. And we've seen a similar pattern in some ways to Manchester and England, New Zealand. England taking, on that occasion, a much wider lead than they have here tonight. But then from that point on, New Zealand constantly coming back at them. They just didn't have enough goals advantage in that first quarter.
No, they've made one or two errors, England, but then again so have Australia, but Australia I think have made less errors. And what's interesting is what's happening in the circle for Australia, how Cox is coming out and allowing McMahon to go in as like a substitute shooter, and it's really quite clever the way they're splitting Mentor and McCloma. They struggle when they're both in there together. When they've got the width, it's much more difficult for defences to cover it.
So they're drawing one out, and creating space. So
and because they're so quick, that's Newton.
The England captain, just taking a breather and a refresher, having had a bit of treatment. And Margaret Calder just checking she's okay.
I also must say a happy 8th birthday today.
Faces in the crowd, as many men in that shot as women, I would say.
Yes, it's a very popular sport, and when Australia play, we're in London, the Aussies come out, it makes for great viewing. It's a lovely
It's great viewing
ball.
against Australia in any sport, I think.
And another error by
Except
Australia.
when they win.
Yeah. Well, who knows tonight? It could be us. We've got 2 more quarters to get through.
Contact wing penalty pass. Yes.
That's good front work by Ellis and Gerard, forcing the ball across the circle.
Centre. Strathton goal, pass and shot.
And again, Gerard's arms coming out round. Cookie gives the penalty.
And a much needed goal by Cookie for England. And let's have a look at the significance of that. England's completion rate is 60% for quarter two. That limited an opportunity. Australia have taken every chance this quarter.
And it's just flowing really nicely onto that Australia. Oh! I was just saying, it was a lovely movement, but it was equally followed through by Mentor. And again, Cox having to come out the circle. McMahon working the legs.
She'll get another bite at that.
Now, will she pass or will she shoot?
I think I know what she's going to do.
I think she's going to shoot, isn't she? She takes McCloma out, steps across her, sensible movement, put the shot up.
So a big challenge now for England to rise to.
Both shooters out the circle. McMahon's in, the space is there, but just really good covering by McCloma. Oh, and it's come off an Australia hand or foot, and it's England sideline.
England with possession. Ambitious cross-court pass, but it's well taken by Newton, I think it was there. It wasn't, it was McCloma. But we lose possession.
Yes, Mona Gerard is doing a really good job on Pamela Cookie at the moment. Really closing her down.
Cox misses.
Great
Well taken
rebound
by Mentor. McCloma and Newton. Clark. Atkinson picks it up.
Yeah, that's
Cookie.
good work by
Wide.
Cookie.
So Atkinson into Cookie. This is going to be a terrific goal if this goes in.
Yes.
It does.
That's what Pamela Cookie needs to do. She needs to take Mona Gerard on, and when she does that with her speed, she'll beat her every time. There we go again.
She's in again. Scores again.
Great 30 seconds by Cookie. That's a clever run round the top of the circle by McMahon with contact against Mentor.
Australia back 2 goals ahead at 2018, but England are preventing them from pulling away. Still very much in the game.
Contact by Selena Gilsonen on Atkinson.
It's Brownfield, Clark, Cookie. There, waited just the right moment. Now then, next goal's a big one.
That's good work round the circle by the Von Berto sisters, opening up the spaces for those shooters. And that's unlucky by McCloma. McMahon stepped, but McCloma was adjudged to still be within 3 feet.
And Australia keep edging a 2-goal lead.
Contact attack, penalty pass. Van is obstructing goal attack.
It's a good take by Brownfield, backed up by
Goal attack,
McCloma.
penalty pass.
Out of hands by McMahon on that third line, so she's got to
Yes.
stay out of play till McCloma feeds the ball. We just need a little bit
Contact,
more
wing attack,
movement from
penalty
that
pass.
England attack. It's getting a little bit stuck behind the Australians.
Australia infringement, England on the attack, closing towards the end of the second quarter. Brownfield, one of 3 Mavericks players in this England lineup. There are 2 of Team Bath there. There's a Loughborough Lightning player, Jade Clark, and Sonia McCloma of Brunel Hurricanes.
That's a
Top
great,
teams in the Netball Super League.
great fast balls out by England. A mistake by
Managed
McMahon has
contact
allowed
centre.
this ball to get to the edge for England.
Contact, keep the pass or shot.
That was a confident pass over Ellis's head.
this to equalise. And it's another of those great looping shots from Brownfield. Yes, real animation. She was saying yes as well. Mark Keldo.
Instructing wing arms first, yes.
They've done very well this quarter. Australia pegged them back to 3.
England, goal area.
Look at the intensity.
Yes.
She wants this so badly.
You can see that.
And the whole country does.
She's normally quite a phlegmatic character. Doesn't show a great deal of emotion, but she's showing more tonight than I've seen previously.
Barney's contact and offside.
Good work by England, opening up those triangles round the circle.
And Cookie to put England back in front. They have survived a torrid spell of the match when it looked like Australia might pull away. A big spell. A significant statement perhaps for the rest of the game. This quarter, England 82%, Australia 92% in front of goal. Australia come back, that was to be expected.
It's England's centre pass, they got 20 odd seconds to get this ball into the circle. And it's a mistake there, through Brownfield's pass to Clark.
End of the second quarter, and we've got just the match we wanted, just the game we anticipated. After 30 minutes, it's as you were with the starting lineups. They're locked together, 22 each in this unofficial World Championship battle, sponsored by Pucker Pies. One interesting strategic move, if you like, at the break, Kendra, you spotted it first, was that Australia left the arena.
Yes, I think it's this whole notion of Americanisation of sport where the crowd need to be entertained, and the music was possibly a little loud at quarter time for perhaps Norma Plummer and Rosalie Jenk, the two coaches, to impart the information they wanted.
Well, at times tonight you can't hear yourself think, so I don't blame them for doing that. England did stay courtside. Australia left to debate the way the game was going. Didn't make any alterations. But they have a lead, a slender one, at 23-22.
And they're busy capitalising on an England mistake.
Contact, goal attack.
Australia had the edge in the second quarter. They won that 13-10.
And that was great work by McCloma, who just forced the stepping shot of McMahon, forcing the ball into McCloma, which makes the ball the penalty to McCloma and not McMahon.
Here's Cookie. Goal from Cookie, so it's all square again. As Australia's Norma Plummer watching very, very intently. Be unusual to complete the entire game without any changes. There will inevitably be some, but I suppose it reflects some satisfaction from both benches at the way the game is going.
Well chased down Cookie, good hands by Gilsenan, but a judge to have contacted coming round.
England are back, all square. And that's the official attendance here at Earls Court tonight, 7,232, seems like more, sounds like more. But easily the biggest of the test series. There were 3,300 at Manchester, first test, 3,200 at Birmingham for the second, over double that here in London. London winning the big city battle of crowd support for netball.
And England just working the ball methodically down the court. It's another contact, gives Atkinson the pass.
Action.
Oh, that's a tremendous take.
Yes, off balance, managed to right herself, a really nice goal.
Contact, pass or shot.
So England 100% for this quarter so far, Australia 75%. Cox hits the wire. Total completions for the game very close. England 81%, Australia 83%. Great standard there.
Yes, it was just looking at McMahon's face then when she was called by Dalton Hines for footwork. I think that's probably the first time I've seen McMahon pull for footwork. But it's a great battle between her and McCloma. And at the moment, as you can see, it's all things being equal, 25 all.
Yeah. How would you call it?
Very close.
Yes. You know what I mean.
I know. I think if England can maintain this, then I think England can take this game. They need to ensure that they don't make mistakes.
Like that.
I should have just shut up, really, shouldn't I? Stop asking me those questions.
You've done that several times tonight. You've done it to Australia more than England, though.
Yes, please.
I think you set me up beautifully. It's an obstruction. There's Kath Cox just retraining the ball, getting into position.
Cox puts Australia back in front. Timeout called.
Yes,
Been called by England.
There's been an injury call, I think, by Pamela Cookie.
So Cookie to receive a bit of treatment.
England 25.
I think the longer this game goes on, Alan, the more in favour of England it goes, I feel.
Why is that your reasoning?
I think sometimes when a team like Australia gets a couple of goals in front, it's quite difficult, and it's like from a mental point of view, it's quite tough. But I think if you can stay in with them, you can force errors, you can make them make mistakes. What we've got to ensure we don't do is make errors off our centre pass. So
England, you feel, have ridden the storm, as they did in the second quarter, and it did look like Australia might take a winning lead.
They've certainly ridden the storm so far, but I think Australia have more to come. I think their attack is not as fluent as it could be, but that's down to the defence of England. It's whether England as a unit are going to maintain that defensive quality and that defensive force for the whole game. And it's an unknown quantity. Australia have played in, and many of these Australian players have played into wire games in World Championships against New Zealand, winning by 1 in the final minute. England haven't had that, but they could get a taste of that tonight.
The ability to win tight matches. Well, England did against New Zealand, although you could argue it wasn't that tight after the lead they had. Tamsin Greenway has come on at goal attack. There she is for Pamela Cookie.
Obviously that injury to Pamela Cookie was perhaps more serious than envisaged. Unless it's a very astute tactical change, but Cookie was doing well.
Cookie actually was on 85%, so she, as you say, Kendra, she was doing exceptionally well. England wouldn't want to lose her, but have done. And Greenway's come on, 26 each.
Contact by Mentor, who previous to that had really chased down a really good intercept, but Australia still with possession. Great baseline work by Cox.
And as Australia go back in front, how critical do you feel the loss of Cookie might prove to England?
I'm hoping that it won't. I've got great faith in Tamsin Greenway.
Well, there she is, electing to pass ambitiously to Jade Clark.
She's just setting herself up, setting her body angles up because it's a free pass. She's got to take it, or Brownfield.
Greenway across the circle. Atkinson in. Greenway again in position for the return. Infringement. Which gives Brownfield the opportunity with one of those looping shots of hers. This time, no.
But it was a good take by Greenway under the post to keep that ball alive off the rebound. So it's good work by Tamsin Greenway, who's just come on.
So no loss of momentum for that change.
That's McCloma contacting on McMahon again. McMahon looking for guidance from the... Oh, he's warned by looks of things Sonia McCloma. He's having a chat with her. Perhaps it's persistent penalties, I'm not sure.
Contact pass or shot.
But the crowd don't like it. And it was only for that one goal.
Nothing disturbs that lady, Shaz McMahon.
It's good backup by McCloma. Now that needed to be played advantage.
Advantage obstruction centre. Contact, go to Finn, go to Finn.
It seems almost inevitable that when Australia take the lead, England will reply.
And that's good. That's great for this game. It's a fantastic game. You know, 10 minutes into the third quarter, and there's daylight is not visible between either of these teams.
Centre free pass, offside centre.
That's good work by Cox, setting up the rotation with McMahon, and she just casually throws
She's so
it in.
impassive, is Kath Cox. Hands on hips, well, so what?
Just fantastic. Look at that smooth action.
That's a good ball by Greenway
And
to
he-
Brownfield.
Goalkeeper, yes.
She'll take her time. Well, impossible to pick a winner.
Obstruction, wing attack.
Good work by Mentor. But Cox was quick enough to reposition. What a reposition on that shot.
Just makes it look so simple.
Contact centre.
Well, this is interesting for the evening. England have missed 7, Australia have missed 6.
That is very low and very tight. You can
Go to
see the
Finn.
quality that's happening throughout this game.
Obstruction.
They can't afford to miss any more than that
No.
anyway.
There go.
So Ellis is out, and it's a penalty to Brownfield.
Now then,
Advantage obstruction.
And that was very
Wow.
clever positioning on that shot from Ellis, setting herself up just in case the rebound was there. And lo and behold, she took it.
are we going to be punished for that miss?
Good patience and much better width from Australia.
Defence penalty pass.
Yeah, they're not as tight on the top of the D as they were in the earlier quarters. Oh, look at that push by Cox. And you watch, Mentor get penalty now. Oh, it's an obstruction outside.
On the ball, contact pass or shot against keeper.
Well, 2 goals ahead. 31-29. Last time they forged ahead like that, England came back at them.
Contact keeper, penalty pass or shot.
Contact by Mentor coming round the back of Cox.
Side of pass or shot.
They're
Yes.
taking up some strong front positions, the Australians.
Got to get the rebound, haven't got the rebound. McMahon did.
That's all through positioning. Clever positioning under the post.
Anticipation.
No, just putting your body between her and Sonia McCloma. It's a great battle between these two, I can tell you. And that is a very poor decision there by Clark.
They're just signs of
Pressure.
England's intensity slipping. Timeout called by England.
Yes, McCloma's not happy about something. She's done something to her ankle. Emma Batchelor, the England physio. But that was a good passage of play for Australia. I just felt they were a little bit more composed than England. And that's Good captaincy there by Liz Ellis, really stirring her team on, getting them together in a huddle, giving them input, which is very important. They've had a really good 5 or 6 minutes on this court, this quarter.
Margaret Caldo seeing her team just fall behind, but they've come back once. She'll believe they can come back again.
Yes, Emma Betchel is doing very much a rush job on McClomber. She's got 2 minutes injury time, and I think that time is passed. And they're allowed a discretionary amount of time. It's up to the umpires. And see Dalton Grant getting a little bit impatient, but got both doctor and physio around McClomber, and they wouldn't strap that ankle lightly unless she had done something to it, but I don't think it'll stop her from playing.
No, she's a tough player.
And it's her penalty.
Sonia Umkloma finally fit to resume. Australia in possession. Scenting a 3-goal lead. Take a 3-goal lead. That's a 4-goal lead rather at 33-29.
And it's also Australia's centre pass. That's a good run there by Von Berto. But again, contact by Mentor.
And Cox with another Australia goal, and all of a sudden it's slipping away from England. In a very short space of time, Australia have come from level to 5 goals in front. England must take these opportunities.
That's great work by Gerard, and look at the width there is in the Australia attack and the support play around that third line. That's good defence, but Australia are keeping their possession.
Yeah, playing with great assurance, but there's battling away in there is Mentor.
That was great. Well done, Jiva Mentor. It was a lovely Australian move.
England's completion rate has dropped. It's down to 70%. Part of the reason why they now trail. Australia steady at 80, and another opportunity goes.
Yes, and England in that shooting circle and not getting the rebounds either. Gerard and Ellis have got very strong body positions. They're taking a bit of height advantage as well.
Defense. Contact, go defense, go defense. Yes.
Very important to score now, and another one goes.
Okay, go shooter.
And that's contact against Louisa Brownfield on Ellis. It's Ellis's ball, Australia ball.
Well done, Jade Clark. Australia's completion rate down to 58%, but attacking now. They mustn't miss this. Oh, Greenway elects to pass to Brownfield. England still have it. Greenway. And finally, England get
it's
themselves
no
back.
goal, Alan. It's no goal. It was a contact by Brownfield on Liz Ellis. It's Australia possession. Let's see if Nelson can tidy it up this time. Last time she gave such a poor pass.
Now woes continue.
And that's a lovely move against the baseline by Cox. She's finding lots of room along that base. And there's starting to be a little bit of daylight now between Australia and England.
Australia playing with ominous assurance. England still battling, as you see there.
They're throwing themselves down to get that ball.
Amanda Newton, the captain, and Coloma.
That's a good run by Greenway, but she wasn't seen by Newton. It's an offside in the circle by Von Berto, which gives England ball. And a misunderstanding between Atkinson
and really a tough act to follow for Greenway, not just replacing a player of Pamela Cookie's quality, but disrupting the obvious understanding that Cookie and Brownfield had together, the momentum they had.
It's also a little bit more than that, Alan. It's coming into an intensity of a game of this standard, coming on cold. But she's doing quite well. And England, you know, have got to ensure that they don't make too many more errors.
And that is the end of the third quarter change, and they've got Pamela Cookie back as goal attack, come back from injury in place of Tamsin Greenway.
Yes, it was very difficult for Tamsin Greenway, and it was unfortunate that England lost that quarter 13-7. They got tidy up their defence and make sure they put the shots in their shooting circle.
So are they starting as they mean to go on? Brownfield reduces the deficit. It's 5 goals. 5 goals is gettable.
It's good width by Australia, something that was lacking in the early parts of the game.
Deliberate obstruction, wing defence, penalty. Deliberate obstruction, wing defence, penalty pass or shot there. Out of play, wing defence, yes. Obstruction, goal defence, hands before, goal defence.
Australia look as if they're going to go through the whole match without making any changes. England quite possibly could have done as well if Cookie had been fit for the third quarter.
Clark needed to look into the circle a little bit earlier. It's allowed Ellis the advantage to drop back into the circle. It's an offside. It's England ball still in possession.
Cookie, Clark. Brownfield, and
it's those errors around the circle edge that England can ill afford if they want to stay into this game. They can't afford to give easy ball.
Oh, what a terrific take.
Oh, it's great
coming
defending
back
by
there
Cookie.
from Cookie. She can do a bit of everything.
It's good hands by Atkinson with the speed of pass to Brownfield. Lovely goal.
Well, that's more like it from Brownfield, who had a wobbly spell in quarter 3, having played so well before that. But Cox, I was going to say never misses, does miss there. And look at that, that was real determined play from Mentor and Umkoloma.
And that's a pity, that just a lot, not quite weighted the pass correctly by Newton. Gives advantage back to Australia, but good work by Mentor, but a judge to have contacted on the way round.
Crowd not happy. Even unhappier.
Again, some of those bounce passes just going astray for England. Just need to tidy it up a little bit.
Yeah, they haven't been as fluid as Australia. A difference has shown.
Yes, Australia are starting to get onto the edge of the circle and starting to really control around the edge of the circle, and England are not quite managing that at the moment, and some longer shots are coming in.
But whatever happens, an honourable performance, I think, from England, who would, I think if they'd been told before the series that they beat New Zealand and share a close match with Australia, I think they'd have taken that.
Yes, it's just a shame just for a few minutes in that last quarter that Australia got the flow, got the lead that they're probably hoping to hang on to. But England will really power them down, hopefully, in this quarter. Good work by McMahon, coming round the front of McClona to take clean ball.
England 32, Australia 39. This is international netball. Sponsored by Pucker Pies, but don't forget, the climax to the Netball Super League season sees the first playoff, Brunel against Loughborough Lightning, Thursday 31st of May on Sky Sports Extra at 5:30 p.m.
I just love this battle between McMahon and McClona. Obviously the crowd not enjoying the fact that McCloma's standing out of play, but McMahon, as cool as you like. Look, there's that little smile that says, unlucky, I put it in.
There's a good camaraderie, I think, between the two sets of players.
There's a lot of respect, and it was really interesting listening to Liz Ellis's after-match speech up in Birmingham about how much respect between all three teams, New Zealand, Australia and England, there is, and it's great for the sport. It's netball's really come alive this week. It's great.
And I was struck by the sporting sentiments voiced by Irene van Dijk after New Zealand had lost to England, and she said she fully accepted straight away that netball was the winner for a close game like that. Didn't dwell on the unexpected defeat of her country. She saw the wider picture.
The ball, goalkeeper, quiet. Yes. Contact on the goal shooter, new penalty pass or shot.
Both of them out, I think. Yeah, both out. There was some back chat there, I think, by Mentor, and then McCloma was adjudged to have touched the ball, which he's not allowed to do. And that's good hands by Von Berto. That gets the turnover for Australia. Cox is out again.
Oh, that's a good take. Well done by McClona. Fluid, fast break by England, who need to score here. Cookie will ensure that they do.
That was really good by England, a very tight mark by Newton that allowed that intercept. Trailing a player into the corner, doing a job well.
Can't afford to let Australia come back straight away.
But the two Von Berto sisters are really dictating play around that circle edge.
They're moving the ball around so quickly, so precisely, so meticulously, and can always guarantee that Kath Cox will score. Or McMahon, for that matter. Well, I suppose it seems an obvious statement that Australia are now better than New Zealand based on the results this week, but do you think this performance confirms that, Kendra?
Oh, I think so. I think at the moment, Australia are the dominant team, but there's a long way to go between now and November. The World Championships have changed from July. They should have been in Fiji. They've been rearranged for November in Auckland, in New Zealand. So it'll be very interesting how the preparation goes from now on in for all three teams.
Well, I think safe to say we're watching currently the best team in the world here in Australia.
And also they're probably the best second team in the world, because we beat New Zealand. Am I gloating? Or am I gloating?
Entitled to.
But this is a tremendous performance by England. They weren't expected to win this match, really, when you look at it, on paper.
We've been a bit spoilt by the events earlier and the expectations whipped up. It's been a good, gutsy display from England, and there's the gutsy Australia coach.
Yes, traditionally results against Australia have ranged from anything from 12 to 15 to even 20, and I've even been on the receiving end of a 30 plus. So this is a tremendous performance by England, and seeing how much they've improved.
Well, the former England captain, Kendra Slavinsky, with a real sense of perspective. Great position to judge. Cox, for once, misses. It was a difficult opportunity.
It's good pressure and clean take by Mentor.
Kendra, any candidates that you'd like to give us for player of the match at this point?
Well, there are 14 players on that court who have highly entertained this crowd at Earls Court this evening. And if I could give it to all of them, I would, because I feel very privileged to have seen this standard of game. I think Pamela Cookie's had a really good game. And I think McMahon and the tussle between McMahon and McCloma has been great to see. But I'm going to hold off for another second before I tell you who it is.
Send for penalty pass.
England 36, Australia 43.
It looks like an injury
And a
call to
timeout called
McMahon.
for Australia.
Alan?
Yes, it is McMahon. And Australia a little over 4 minutes away from what will be an impressive victory for them, because they've been tested by England, tested to the full.
Yes, it's just a pity that the 13-7 in that third quarter.
Take that out and we'd have been in there competing. Okay, Kendra. Player of the match. You've had so many contenders.
Yes, my player of the match for this one is Mona Gerard of Australia. I think she's been very strong and dominant in the circle with Liz Ellis, but she's also been driving the ball through the mid-court and backing up on the third line for Australia. She's a very busy player. Gerard, my player of the match.
She is alongside her defensive partner Ellis. Those two have been a big barrier to England.
And I also think she's put in some really cracking performances against New Zealand and now against England.
Yes.
So,
Instruction, both out.
Australia
Yes.
looking to finish the game in the grand manner, with what will be a very sweet success for them. All the better, because they were stretched and had to dig out some typical Australian qualities, but also
Take goal shooter.
quality of their link play. Very few errors.
Closing centre, penalty pass.
And again, there I feel we could have had a little bit of advantage in this game. England still working the ball into their circle. Again, there's Gerard in the right position for those rebounds. Very effective rebounds.
So England's completion rate has fallen to 75%, which ordinarily would be pretty healthy. Australia steady at 81%. Never really varied much from 80 plus. And there's one of the reasons why. So what? So what?
Yes, most international teams would be looking for their conversion rate to be at least in the high 80s.
Cox again.
And that takes it up to 10 goal difference to Australia.
See if England can keep it within the 10. Cookie scores.
This is a very impressive performance by the Australians, under a lot of pressure from the English team in the first half of this match, but just run away with it in the third quarter.
Stepping in, goal defence, penalty pass or shot.
And despite the close attentions of McCloma and Mentor, the Australian shooting pair have really done well tonight. I've said it again, didn't I?
This time, though, I think.
Offside.
No.
Great work by Mentor. Kept in by Clark. Backed up again by McCloma.
Crowd getting behind England, willing them to get a consolation goal or two. Bit of a tumble in the centre of the court. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Brownfield.
I just think there's some moisture on the court from that tumble. It's just been cleaned up by one of the ball girls. Good work by Bransfield outside the circle, but a poor decision there to pass it to Cookie. Very much marked. And problems with that backline throw-in. It's been changed to England. Great finish by Brownfield.
And we're keeping this within bounds, and I think psychologically that's very important to England.
Good hands by McClomod, still working tirelessly in that England circle with Mentor.
Contact, wing defence.
Looking for the angles against the England defence.
Ball goalkeeper, penalty pass or shot.
Again, both defenders out.
Sherelle McMahon, goal to Australia. They'll have been targeting 50. They're not going to get that far. The previous two winners in this international series have scored 50 goals. Australia aren't going to do so on this occasion. England may get 40 here. They do.
And that's great movement by the Australian attack. And a fantastic jump on the shot by McClomod. Great way to finish for England.
Wonderful break, but that's the finish of the third Pucker Pies Test match in this international.